AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Wake up and good morning. 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh.
It's Friday.
F-I-D-A-Y.
You had all week to talk about work. Now it's the weekend, and that means it's
Party time!
The party is just getting started.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
Roger that.
Okay, let's move out. Come on, let's go.
It's showtime.
Here's Toast and Marsh.
Good morning, South Florida. 8:01. This is 4th and 20 on OnSideRadio.com. I am Toast. He is Marsh. Sean Stanley behind the board as always. Hope you're having a good day so far. It looks to be a beautiful one outside. And it is the last day before all hell breaks loose because we got to change the clocks this weekend, and that just sucks. That pisses me off. We have to go to daylight savings time because some of you needed to stay light until 9 o'clock at night for some bizarre reason. So now it'll be pitch black when we wake up, and it'll stay dark when you're trying to go to bed. I don't get it. So now my AC is going to stay on longer because it's going to stay hotter outside longer. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. Just stay with the normal standard time. I don't understand why
why do we have to change?
Why are we changing the time?
I don't like change.
Was good enough for the first 300 years, not good enough now? Idiotic. Whatever.
But things are good.
Things are good, man. Man, what a day yesterday. It legitimately is like really this week and next week the best 2 weeks of sports just because of all the college basketball and how it's all stacked up so you have it all day long. But an amazing, outside of that, he got a huge victory. Over 500 for the first time this season. Hey, by the way, Knick fans. Oh, there you are in the rearview mirror. Just want to throw that out there for you.
They got destroyed last night.
Listen, we knew they were a fraud. The wheels were going to come off that, and so things in the universe are beginning to straighten themselves out.
I love how we're saying this. It's one game after the All-Star break.
Dude, they were so punchy the whole first 20 games of the season.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now you're behind to suck it up.
Yeah.
And how about? Listen, I've been telling you that this is going to be a magical Panthers season. The way they are winning games, the cardiac cats yesterday, down 4-1 in the third. Tie it up, push to overtime, get the dub.
Frankie
Vetrano.
Big win.
Just huge win. Kept pace with Carolina, kept pace with Tampa. The three of us are still pretty much sitting there in a deadlock race. I think 39 points for the leader, 38 points for us in Tampa. Carolina's a point in front, all because of Vinny Trocheck. But we'll forgive. But yeah, man. So and the Canes, man, they almost pulled it off yesterday.
Oh, they were so close.
Almost pulled it off. Probably should have pulled it off. But they just didn't have enough energy, enough spunk down the last couple minutes of that game to get a victory against Georgia Tech. But it brings up the question. Where do the Canes go from here in terms of their basketball program? Does Coach L come back again? It almost seemed like in Coach that first win was huge, and I remember in that postgame he was like, "Man, I wanted this one bad. And I'm wondering if in his mind he's kind of been like, this is probably gonna be my last year. I'm just wondering, like, where do you bring him back?
I think you do.
Do you want to bring him back?
I think we're both in agreement that his time is probably coming.
Mm-hmm.
That
I think his time's here.
Yeah,
I think
he's been here for a long time. It's kind of a shame that the last few years have been like overshadowed by the investigations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few days have been great, but big picture this year they were not very good.
Well, and last year also.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we are a few years removed from Shane Larkin in those teams putting on those memorable runs for us. Coach L has had a wonderful career. I mean, you go back to the many years he had at George Mason, getting to the Final Four there, upsetting my favorite UConn Huskies in the Elite Eight to get to that Final Four. I would like to see the program And listen, as I said, second greatest head coach in the program's history behind Leonard Hamilton, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see them go in a younger direction now. I think we've seen a drop-off here over more than just a couple of years. It's kind of been going downhill trending that way. I don't want to see him bottom out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see them go all DePaul and go 3-20. You know, but that's I don't want to see that for him.
No, of course not. And we're recruiting well. That's the thing. And so but when you can't keep your best players either, because you
lost the kid to Louisville.
Exactly.
Top 100 player that just walked out the door here. So
and there's potential in this program to be good, be a good basketball program. And so I think maybe it's time to switch directions. We love Coach L.
No, absolutely. Listen, this isn't about, and I would think that he wouldn't go anywhere else, that he would legitimately retire and, go to Ball Harbor or wherever the hell else, wherever you're going and, the Villages. I don't know. Enjoy the rest of your life, man. You've earned it.
Go play some shuffleboard.
Yeah, you've had a good run. To those of you that are watching, remember, we are on Twitch and on YouTube, so you can go ahead and subscribe and put on the notifications for both of those. That'd be very nice. Selection Sunday.
Yes.
Some upsets yesterday. Boy, your boys went down. Your boys went down hard.
My boys?
Villanova.
I
You've
know.
been on Villanova all year. Georgetown, Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, well, the day's darkest just before the dawn.
Okay, sure. Sure, okay. I think the lack of guards is possibly what's hurting that
the
team
lack
right
of
now.
Guards is
just
dark.
devastating. Yes,
before the dawn.
Poor Patrick Ewing getting accosted by security in the inner bowels of Madison Square Garden.
Okay, yeah. Can someone explain that?
So here's what's going on, man. Patrick Ewing comes back. He's the head coach of Georgetown. He is in the arena that his number is in the rafters. I mean, granted, it's not the arena he built, but it's pretty much the arena he built.
He restored.
However you want to say it, it's his house. That's his house. And he walked in there assuming that he'd just be able to, go as he pleases, but he kept being stopped and asking for passes and frisked. And he's like, dude, I'm Patrick Ewing. And I agree with him. Listen, we have audio. Play that audio, Pat.
But I do want to say one thing, though. I thought this was my building, and I feel terrible that I'm getting stopped, accosted, asking for passes. Everybody in this building should know who the hell I am. And I'm getting stopped. I can't move around this building. I was like, what the hell? Is this Madison Square Garden? I'm going to have to call Mr. Dolan and say, geez, is my number in the rafters or what?
Listen, I 100% agree with him.
So why was he being stopped and everything?
Yeah, I guess just security checkpoints underneath the in the concourses
he's not
or whatnot.
Banned from the stadium. Charles Oakley.
No, that's Charles Oakley. No, Ewing is still in great standing, absolutely. Yeah. But I agree. The equivalent would be Dan Marino going to Hard Rock and getting stopped and frisked by the ticket person outside the thing, and then to try to get into the VIP club area, getting stopped and frisked. Hey, do you have a pass to get in here?
The coach?
Bro, it's Dan Marino. Look at the pictures all over the walls. Look at the statue out front.
Look at the name of the road.
Right? I mean, so my whole thing is, if you work for the Knicks, if you work for Madison Square Garden, when they hire you, you're given a picture of James Dolan. You let this guy in and let him go wherever. A president of Leon Rose, the president, let him go. Patrick Ewing, let him go. And Charles Oakley, he's not allowed in.
And maybe Spike Lee.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's insane.
The best player in franchise history.
It's unbelievable.
Love Patrick Ewing.
I do too. No issues with Patrick, but that was funny. I was like, oh my God. And I'm thinking, but I was like, wow, that's Marino. And you imagine Marino getting stopped and asked for ID trying to get to the suite level at Hard Rock Stadium.
That's like Big Papi walking around Fenway and he's getting frisked.
Right? It would be like security stopping Edgerrin James from being on the field on the sideline. Like, bro, what?
Guys, I'm Michael Irvin.
Right? I mean, I don't, you would think that these franchises have, hey, FYI, if we're hiring you and here's 5 very notable people.
Yeah.
You see them? You don't say a word. Hey, sir, can I get you anything?
Would you like courtside seats?
Right? Would you like me to escort? Should I get your car started for you?
You want
I'll
a
bring
nice
it out
cold
around
drink?
Front, right? I'll get you some popcorn. Oh my goodness, that was funny.
When he's the head coach,
I know.
Like that's the crazy thing. Like he wasn't even there as just like a spectator.
No, yeah.
He was there doing his job. Good for them to go back there and get a win. I know it's against my boys.
Listen, man, it was. It's been fun to be a part of the Big East tournament again. My Huskies had not been a part of it for 7 years, and it sucked being in that AAC wasteland, playing like Tulane and Tulsa, and really, like, just stop, bro. It was awful. We've been like the Jews wandering the desert for 40 years. It's been awful, and finally we're back in the Big East. Thank God. Oh, thank God.
I like the comparison.
Oh, it's true, man. We've just been wandering aimlessly. A basketball powerhouse in the AAC just playing Tulane. Like, what the hell happened to us? What happened? And finally, we're back home where we belong. Screw the football program, man. Basketball's what moves the needle in that state.
Oh, yeah.
So,
big game tonight.
Big game tonight, man. So the other side of the bracket in the Big East opens up because Villanova goes down. And then St. John's goes down to Seton Hall, right? I believe, Seton Hall wins. So you got the two lesser seeds advancing. But Creighton looked good yesterday.
Now, Creighton is that's
two.
McDermott, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So his first game back, he had the big, meeting with the team after the whole plantation remark, and it's all kumbaya. They all got along, and they won that big game by 30 last night. They were rolling in that thing.
I know.
And then UConn came out. They rolled as well, so that will be a 9 o'clock game tonight.
Semis.
2 versus 3.
Who does Georgetown play?
That would be Seton Hall.
Okay.
So you've got, yeah.
So is the championship tomorrow?
The championship would be tomorrow, yes.
At the Garden.
I will say this, and it is, last time Big East, UConn was in the Big East, the tournament was on ESPN. So now they made the move over to Fox. Mm-hmm. And I'll just tell you, man, you're not going to, in my opinion, you are not going to find 2 better people to call a college basketball game than Gus Johnson and Bill Rafferty. And when they are teamed together, just stop everything. Because I love Gus Johnson calling basketball. I know many folks don't think he's too, but I think for college basketball, he's perfect. I think he's the perfect announcer with his energy. Does the slipper still fit? All that crap. He's spectacular at it. And Bill Rafferty is just, I like Bill Rafferty. Dude, he's Bill. He's making references about scotch and whiskey and cigars. It's just awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Gus. Oh, Gus Johnson.
You're not a Gus Johnson fan?
At least not in basketball. Or football.
Well, all right, so for me, I understand folks not digging Gus, but for me, he is a preeminent college basketball announcer. I think his level of enthusiasm is perfect for college basketball, and especially for March Madness.
Yeah, he's like the complete opposite of Buck.
Oh my God,
sports,
yes, in terms of just energy and everything. Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that plenty of folks don't like him. I know that when I talk about it with my OBB boys, both of them are not Gus Johnson fans. But when it comes to college hoops, man, and him calling the Big East tournament with Raph, that's just nostalgia just washing over me last night.
Okay. All right, yeah, big game tonight.
There we go, big game.
Let's go Huskies.
The big news yesterday: college basketball outside of Villanova, Duke.
Oh. That was a bummer.
Well, it's not only a bummer for the fans, but for the sports books. William Hill, I saw them come on. They were anticipating that was going to be the heaviest bet game of the day yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just gets, boom, pulled out. And the AD comes out and says, yeah, that's the end of the season. So almost implying that even if y'all wanted to give us the first 4 or whatever, that Dayton, the first 4 play-in, whatever the hell they call it. Is that round 1 or whatever? I don't know what they're calling it.
Oh, yeah.
They would not even take it. So you could have them out, Kentucky out, like some serious blue bloods.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina's in.
Yeah, they've been playing good.
They've been playing well.
They'll probably, I don't know if they'll win the ACC. Maybe.
Well, who else you got? Who's going to?
FSU.
Virginia.
And Virginia.
I like FSU.
FSU's really good. I like Coach Hamilton. I was going to root for Duke yesterday, but.
Of course you would. I totally see you as a Duke person.
I hate Duke, but I hate Florida State even more.
You would root for Duke over. I would root for Florida State over Duke.
Maybe I'm not a Duke guy at all.
Yeah, no, I would.
I hate Duke.
I can't stand. Listen, I don't like Florida. I don't like Florida State. But there are certain times when I will pick up the state of Florida flag. And if one of those teams is playing Duke, I'm gonna root for the team from Florida. Screw Duke, screw Michigan State, screw North Carolina, screw Louisville. I'm not rooting for any of those teams.
I'm a fan of Coach Williams.
I'm not rooting for whatever. I'm not rooting for Kansas. I'm not rooting for Notre Dame.
Well, yeah. Notre Dame sucks.
I'm not even for Notre Dame in basketball.
Yeah. Don't
or
like
football.
Or football.
Or football.
Football.
Anything good happened to you yesterday? I see that you put in your notes that Scotch is growing on you.
Scotch is growing on me. Had some Blue Label last night.
So, yeah, bro. Holy money bags, boy.
Well, I was with Big Rob.
All right. I was going to say, you tweet that out like it's a Blue Label sort of a night. I'm like, well, little Lord Fauntleroy. Very, very nice, fancy boy.
I didn't.
Jesus.
I didn't buy it.
What did you cash in some of those gold stocks and whatnot, some of that Bitcoin, and get yourself some Blue Label?
Wasn't my bottle.
Okay. God damn.
Offered me a couple glasses. Very good. I liked it.
Bro, for $100 a shot, I would hope so.
Yeah,
it's damn smooth, isn't it? It ain't like Jack Daniels.
Which I'll also drink. But yeah, it's it grows on me. It grows on you. Like the first couple sips, you're like, ooh, that's rough. But then once the ice starts to melt, it's smooth.
You put ice in that?
Yeah. Yes.
You put ice in Blue Label.
Yeah. Well, Big Rob.
It's got to be on the rocks.
No. Blue Label, bro. No. You don't water Blue Label down with ice. Oh, you're gonna spend.
I've never had
money.
Blue Label,
so
I don't know.
You're gonna spend that much money on Scotch and then add water to it?
I just know in general I do Scotch with ice.
Seriously, dude, grab your balls out of your purse and really, bro. You don't put water in Blue Label.
It tasted great.
Wow, I would put water in
Black Label.
Sure, or red.
Red Label.
But bro, if I'm spending that much money on any sort of liquor, I shouldn't need to add anything to it. If I'm spending $100 on a bottle, dude, that better just pouring that thing neat better be spectacular.
There's a definite difference in taste.
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Huge difference.
I was enjoying myself.
Bro, it's the same difference when you get a $10 or an $8 bottle of wine, and then you go and you buy a $25 bottle of wine.
Yes.
Huge difference in the taste and everything.
A $200 bottle of wine.
Yes. It's just huge.
Very good. Very smooth.
So obviously you can't. I don't think you can afford to have Blue Label be a regular for you.
No.
But if you're going to dive into the Scotch thing, have you thought about the brand or what kind you're going to?
No, but I'm open to suggestions.
Have you had Crown?
I have.
So Crown's got that different sort of a taste to it.
Yeah, Crown's a little more. What's the word? Crown's good.
Mm-hmm.
What brand is Blue? Is that
That's Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker Blue, baby. Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah, baby.
You got Glenfiddich.
You
got you got the 20, 40 years. All right, we'll break. We're talking Scotch, man. We're talking Scotch.
Where's my cigar?
I'm guessing that our man Alex Dono has been known to toss back a Scotch or two watching Inter Milan. Possibly sometimes even throwing the glass against the wall.
Yeah, sure.
He does Man of the Match every afternoon here on Onside Radio from 3 until 6. He is great at what he does, and if you want to know the latest on what's going on in the world of soccer, Alex Dono got his finger on the pulse. It is Man of the Match 3 until 6 today on the Radio FM app or OnsideRadio.com.
You can reach out to Toast and Marsh by dialing 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
A message to help keep you safe. If doctors told us today that we'd made a breakthrough on COVID-19, saving thousands of lives, we would rejoice. Finally, a good news day. We'd feel less afraid that our loved ones would be struck by the invisible enemy. We'd start to feel hope that we could live our lives again. Well, a mask does all that. We can help protect others by covering our noses and mouths, which is how the virus mainly spreads. Masks are a ticket to freedom, to be out in the world, to getting together, back to work, back to doing what we want. If doctors announced we could save lives today, we would grab that breakthrough with both hands. While we wait for a vaccine, grab the breakthrough that's already here. When we're out, it's masks on.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky. but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram. And it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Welcome back to 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. To reach out to the boys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Toast and Marsh.
8:22 Friday morning. I am Toast. He is Marsh. This is 4th and 20. Make sure you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, subscribing to the podcast. We'd like that very much. Thank you. We'll go to the phones right now. We'll be welcomed by Lucky Louie. Good morning, Lucky. How are you?
Hey!
Good morning, gentlemen. What a beautiful day. And tomorrow we put our clocks ahead, spring ahead, an extra hour of sunlight.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Guys. You like that? You like the whole spring and ahead thing?
Yes. Well, living up here in the Northeast, I kind of get like that seasonal depression when you leave your house for work at 5:30 in the morning and it's pitch black, and you're driving home at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's pitch black.
Yeah.
And it's 20 degrees. Come on.
So Louis, the stock market had a rough one earlier in the week. Kind of made back some of its gains over the last couple of days.
Yes, actually the Dow made a record high, and in the last 3 days the NASDAQ has gone up by 6%, buoyed by a gentleman that you guys probably heard of his name because he's the owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper.
Yeah,
now,
what's up with this guy?
Well, the man is brilliant, and when I was a kid, I used to see these commercials because, look, I'm an old fogey in my early 50s. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. You could Google that commercial. Now, when David Tepper talks, people listen. The man is brilliant. He moves markets. He makes people understand it in a way, wow, I get it. And that's what's happened. And, look, we've had a good week. Today, things are a little bit, volatile because interest rates are starting to creep up again. But, hey, listen, if the market could close out, this week on an up note, I'll take it because everybody's happy.
Okay, so, Louis, last week, Toast, I believe, asked you about, like, the marijuana industry and those stocks and if that's an industry to trust to keep going up. I want to ask you this week, I'm very interested in solar energy stocks. What are your thoughts on that, and do you think that's an industry that you think will continue to soar?
I agree with you, young man. I have solar on the roof of my house. My average electricity bills, if you over the years run $300 to $400 a month. I wound up getting the solar, and now I'm paying a flat rate of about $1.50.
Wow.
I'm saving a lot of money. My electric bills are maybe $16 a month, and I took advantage of this when they were offering it to you for free. And not only that, I got a nice tax credit from the government, and I got a nice check when I filed my income tax. So yes, I agree. That's the way. Clean energy, solar energy. We're going away from coal and fossil fuels.
So let me ask you this,
Sure.
Louis. So Biden went ahead and they got the whole stimulus thing passed. So a lot of Americans are going to be getting some cash deposited into their account. I guess they said it could start as early as this weekend or Monday. So if you are someone that gets one of those $1,400 deposits into your account and you want to invest that, what would be your advice for a good spot that'll see decent return to throw that $1,400 over the next year or two?
I'm very bullish on the gold and the gold mining sector. I think we have inflation. I mean, just go to the gas station, go to the grocery station. Copper is up 105% from the lows. Cattle is up 50%. I mean, try to go to Home Depot and get a piece of lumber. It's gone up 260%. And oil has gone up 330% from last year over this year. I mean, I would be looking at that kind of sector, materials, precious metals, gold ETFs, because I think inflation is here to stay. And, I wanted to share something with you guys because your partner asked me, I'm 26 years old, and what do I do to start investing? And I'm assuming the audience, what would you say, is more like between Gen Z and millennials? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think we're probably like 25 to 45 area.
Okay. So it's funny. I was reading some research by J.P. Morgan, and it was talking about the benefit of saving and investing early. So you have consistent Chloe. She starts at 25 years old, and she invests $200 a month until she's 65. And they assume a rate of 5.75 return. And you consistently do it. That's $96,000 over a course of 40 years. That grew to almost $400,000.
Wow.
So that's consistent Chloe. Now you got nervous Nellie, who doesn't know anything about investing, and she puts the same amount of money from 25 to 65 in the bank, and the assumption is that she gets a 1.1% return. Okay, nervous Nellie has $121,000 in the bank at 65, as opposed to almost $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go and let's talk about when you start at 35. You got Layla. She starts at 35 to 65, earning the same returns as consistent Chloe. She puts $72,000 in, and at 65, because that's the average age people retire, she's got about a 192. And then you got Quitter Quincy, I call him. He only does it from 25 to 35, which is 24 grand, and he just quits. And at 65, he has about $176,000. So saving early and often and investing what you save are some of the keys to a successful retirement due to the power of long-term compounding. So, this is a little bit of an educational tutorial. So what I would do is systematically, you could do it at Robinhood, E-Trade, figure out an amount, put it in your budget. Instead of going out that Saturday night and blowing $200 on dinner with your wife or your friends, cook at home and have a barbecue and put that money away. Because let me tell you something. When I was your age, one of my clients was the vice chairman who makes Reynolds Wrap. We all make Reynolds Wrap. And he says to me, Louis, it's always better to collect interest than to pay interest. And you know what? I always remembered that. And he was right. And God rest his soul, one of my favorite clients of all time. And, I always listen to people that are older. And if anything I could do to help your audience, because listen, I'm an old fogey compared to you guys. I would love to be able to pass it down to you.
Okay, so
start now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so over the past week, Louis, I've been doing some research and just looking at some tips. And one of the tips for young investors, kind of like myself, guys who are just beginning, is you got to do your due diligence, on the investments that you're making. What does that mean? Can you explain that a little bit more? What should what should I be researching when it comes to these kind of companies and investments that I'm trying to make?
It's funny, Marsh, you bring up this. I was going to discuss this in our conversation. They did a survey of 1,112 investors, 18 to 40. And the sources they use for investing information, 44% of them used YouTube as a source. 41% of them used TikTok. And less than 20% use the professional. Now, in terms of going and doing your due diligence, there's websites that you could go on, companies, if you open up an account with E-Trade, Ameritrade, they have research analysts and, whatever piques your interest. And when you build a portfolio, try not to have it concentrated in one sector. There's an old saying, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you like tech is emerging, put a little sliver in tech. Put a little something in things that are boring, materials, energy, banks. A bank's going to go out of business? No. They borrow money at zero. They lend out to you at a loan at 7 or 8%, and they make the float on money. You want to talk about a legal Shylock? That's a bank.
Lucky Louie, man, bro.
Yeah.
We love you, dude. And listen, in this day and age, anything we can do to help, pass along some financial wisdom to younger generations that are trying to navigate the stock market and all this stuff, because it's confusing as hell, especially now with the cryptocurrencies and the NFTs. Bro, you coming on every week has been great, and we can't thank you enough, Louie.
Yeah. No, my pleasure, guys. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Hold on. Before we let you go, Louie, Canes got 3 against Wake Forest at the Light this weekend. Do we win this series? What do you think?
Yes. So when are we going to talk spring football?
Yeah,
it
starts on Monday.
It starts on
Louie.
Monday, so next week we'll talk all about it with you.
Well, I'm hearing some good things.
Yeah.
I have some very good sources down in Coral Gables.
Tell you what, why don't you tell us right now one name you're hearing to keep an eye on during spring ball?
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that I'm hearing is we need a linebacker and we need another edge player.
Yes.
And I'm hearing we're talking to the linebacker from USC that's in the portal.
Oh, baby!
There will be a lot of movement. As we start and finish practice, and the kid that decommitted Johnson.
Yep.
I'm hearing that the coaches really didn't care for him as much, and he may roll back his way, but they wanted to cut the kid loose before it got weird. I mean, he's a good local player, but,
yep.
The new D-line coaches weren't too fond of him.
All right.
And that's what I'm hearing from my source.
Nice. Lucky Louie, everybody. You hear him every Friday right here at 8:20 with 4th and 20. Thank you very much, Louie. Have a great weekend,
Thanks,
bro.
Louie.
All right, guys. Be well. Bye-bye.
I love that guy. Good stuff. Good
Good,
stuff from
man.
Lucky Louie, man.
Linebacker from USC.
Yeah, baby. I know. That's good little news right there. Oh, I've been eyeing that guy since he entered the portal about a month ago.
Yeah, baby.
I'm like, come on, what's taking so long?
Yeah.
Send him a basket. Send him some meats and cheeses and whatnot and some flowers. Let's get him over here. Send him a Skittles basket, like an assortment.
That'll sell him.
Whatever, man. Kids love Skittles.
He's a badass.
He is. I know.
He's a thumper.
He's exactly what we need. Exactly.
Well, I mean,
what we need.
Manny said, we're leaving space open to go after 5 kids in the portal.
Yep.
So,
well, I know. Is that also? Are they still going after the UNLV offensive lineman?
I think so.
All right. You can now listen to Onside Radio anywhere and subscribe to your favorite podcast by downloading the Radio.net app. Download Radio.net in your app store. Search Onside Radio, where South Florida sports fans call home.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Good morning, Miami. I'm Marsh with your Onside Sports Morning Update. The Heat defeated the Magic last night, 111-103, behind 27 points from Jimmy Butler. Miami is now above 500 for the first time this year. They are back in action tonight against the Bulls in Chicago. Tip-off is at 9 o'clock. And the Panthers won in Columbus last night in overtime after being down 4-1 in the third period. Frank Vetrano scored the winning goal in overtime. This is South Florida's new choice for local sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Sundays at OnsideRadio.com continues to provide you the kind of sports talk South Florida fans desire. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., tune in to the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. Catch Jazz every week as he takes your calls and discusses the biggest stories in sports. That's the Sunday Sports Drop, 7 to 9 a.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
These are unprecedented times. Challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. To reach out to the boys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Toast and Marsh.
$8:39. OnsideRadio.com. Happy Friday morning. This is 4th and 20. I'm Toast. He is Marsh. Thanks to Lucky Louie for coming on, giving us a little wisdom.
It's awesome.
We've got David Ferrones coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. Also got a fantasy baseball guy coming on in the 9 o'clock hour as well, because we'll have to get that set up, get ready for our draft here in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Little breaking NFL news. Patriots finalizing a one-year deal worth close to $14 million for Cam Newton to return. Bit of a shocking move. I always assume the Patriots are going to do something creative and impressive, like one of those, like, oh wow, there's a move. Yeah. Like last year when they signed Cam Newton, you're like, wow, dude, that could be a great place to resurrect his career, this and that.
Yeah, I was never into it.
I'm surprised they're going back down that road. Again, I'm surprised. I mean, I thought they were going to try to pull something for maybe get Jimmy G back or do something.
I think Jimmy G going back to New England would be great.
Be great. Be great for everybody.
They do that, and they're right back in the contention for the
But that's
AFC
not going to
East.
happen now. You're paying Cam $14 million for the year, so we'll see. Listen,
for 8 touchdowns and 10 picks.
Here's the positive side. Can't be worse than last year.
Can't it?
Really? I mean, can he be worse than he was last year?
What? Yeah, sure.
No.
He's getting older. They're not really adding pieces.
I don't know.
So
a year into the system now.
What?
He'll throw for 5,000 yards.
He won't even throw for 3. I think his best days are behind him. But I wouldn't be surprised if New England drafts a quarterback in the first round.
Oh, I would certainly hope so. Yeah.
I think Mac Jones fits it.
Mac Jones, that's what a lot of folks are saying. He would be the perfect Bill Belichick.
He's a Patriot way kind of guy.
Oh, God.
Go straight from Saban to Belichick.
Oh, good God. He would just spend his entire career with miserable head coaches.
Hey, he'd win.
He would. Lots of rings.
I'd spend my whole career with a miserable coach if I won.
All right. Let me ask you this, because the tournament is going to start next week, and we saw what happened with Duke.
Yes.
What is the over-under on the amount of canceled games we're going to see during this run? They're all happening at the same location, so it is one giant bubble, per se, in Indianapolis. They're using both Lucas Oil Stadium. They're using the basketball stadium, the field house. They're using some of the area colleges. So what would you say is the over-under?
4?
You know that only 4 games will be canceled?
I'm trying to be optimistic.
You know, I mean, now, remember, they did say that for a game to go on, all a team needs is 5 able players.
That's insane.
That's just absolutely nuts.
Oh, that's so
crazy. So much for player safety, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I just slurred, didn't I?
It's okay.
All right. According to Marsh, that's a Tier 1 slur right there.
That is.
You learned that yesterday on Tier Tuesday, or Tier Thursday, whatever it was. Yeah.
Tier of the day.
I think it's more than 4. I'm putting it. Because here's the problem.
It's college kids.
Once it happens, once you get one, it's gonna just.
It's gonna snowball.
It's gonna snowball. So I think.
Do we finish the tournament?
That's the thing. If you I think it depends. Obviously, depends when this happens. Like if there's a positive test on next Thursday, like round 2, like early on in the tournament, that does not bode well.
No.
If we can get through the first weekend without any, then you've trimmed the field down to 16 teams, and then you have a much better chance of seeing this into its conclusion.
Yeah, well, and it's college kids, and
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Listen.
I mean, the Duke, I thought we were kind of past. I thought
Duke
we were
didn't have a positive test all season.
I know.
And then boom.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, exactly. So that's the whole thing. It's not as if it would be someone's fault. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're all going to be staying in these hotels. It could be from the hotel staff. I mean, you don't know.
It's travel's amiss.
Exactly.
Did I use that wrong?
Possibly. Yes, travel's amiss.
Travels silently.
So yeah, we'll
have
see.
there been any canceled MLB games during spring training?
No, because we just end them in ties. You realize the Marlins have tied their last 4 games?
Oh.
In their last 5 games, the Marlins are still 4-1 because they don't add on to the record if you.
So they're 4-1-4.
No. According to the record, they're just 4-1.
Well, I know,
but in their last 5 games, they're 0-1-4.
I hate it. I hate
insane.
tying.
Yesterday they tied in 9 innings.
I hate tying.
Listen, at least they played the full 9 innings and didn't play 6.
Oh yeah, we're so
7.
proud of them.
Yeah. At least yesterday was a game of length in which I recognized.
You know, Game 7 of the World Series in 1991 was tied after 9 innings.
Yeah.
They went extra.
No. Did they? I thought they stopped that game after 6.
Jack Morris went all full 10
did
innings.
they? I thought they just thought. Didn't they call a mercy rule? No. Speaking of baseball, as I've been railing all over them this year because just the commissioner is awful and they're inept, and my whole thing was, why didn't you idiots do something with that pathetic 60-game schedule last year and try some stuff out? the electronic balls and strikes, the DH, pitch counts, pitch timers, all that crap. They didn't do any of it. Well, now finally, I guess they have heard my rants and other people's rants, and they're now going to do this stuff in minor leagues this year. So minor league baseball this year, many games are going to have the robotic umpire calling balls and strikes. Okay. So you'll have a much more consistent strike zone. It'll be consistent from game to game. They're going to do the 15-second pitch clock. They're going to limit the amount of pickoff moves. They're going to make the bases larger. All right. They're also going to ban some forms of defensive shifts. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if
I'm
I like
all for
that. Really?
I'm all for
Doesn't
a rule.
Doesn't that go against the strategy?
I am all for a rule. Well, you know what? The strategy is fine until all these idiots can't figure out how to hit to left center.
Well.
And apparently it's too hard for them to figure out. So I'm all for a rule. You got to have 2 players on each side of second base on the infield.
Yeah, the bigger bases one, that just makes me.
I don't understand the bigger bases
it's to avoid collisions.
Possibly.
Because there's so many collisions.
Hey, listen, man, don't tell Dustin Pedroia that it ended his career at second base with a bad slide with spikes up into the knee.
Yeah.
So,
Well, one in
it can
thousands
happen.
of players.
I know, but it can happen. It can certainly happen.
Remember when JT Snow ran into
Yeah,
Pudge?
absolutely.
So
I mean, I guess I'm glad that they're finally trying. Listen, the only thing that I care about here is the electronic strike zone. I want that in Major League Baseball tomorrow.
So what about because now managers, who are managers supposed to argue with now?
I don't care. They're not allowed to argue anyways. It's not like they argue fun like Earl Weaver back in the day, kicking dirt and throwing their hat around. They can't do that anymore. Remember the minor league guy that stole second base?
Yeah, he was crawling around.
And he threw a hand grenade like he was in Vietnam.
Yes.
Oh, that was spectacular. You can't do that anymore,
though.
No,
You'd
lose your job. So we've already taken that out of the game anyways, that color out of the game anyways. So screw it.
I'm going to miss that.
But what I wouldn't give to know as a hitter and a pitcher, like, here's my thing. If you have an electronic strike zone and it's consistent every single game, what it allows pitchers to do is to focus on their craft so they can learn how to paint the corners. Because if they know that it's the same strike zone all the time, that then they'll be able to get used to painting the corners. But if that's going to vary from 6 inches from umpire to umpire, then you can't. If it's going to be a ball one day and a strike the next day, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, but
I want consistency.
It's the color of the now
But whatever, but now the batters you'll bring hitting back because now the batters know, hey, I only have to protect this area and it's not going to move depending on
so how effective is it going to be?
I think it's incredibly effective.
Okay.
I think it will lead to the games being faster. I think it'll lead to more balls being put in play, which, is what we want to have happen. You want to have balls put in play.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my biggest thing. I could care about the 15-second pitch thing. I don't care about limiting pickoff moves. I mean, the defensive shift, sure, that's fine. But my biggest thing is the electronic strike zone. You've got to get that in. These umpires are awful. They're awful at this.
You don't think they're getting better?
No, not in any way.
Okay.
You only need an umpire there for catcher interference, for calling a hit by a pitch, and for calling close plays at the plate, like sliding in. That's it. You don't need them to call balls and strikes.
So when do you think this will trickle into the majors?
Well, if it goes well this year, hopefully maybe it can get in there for next year. I don't know.
So this is the last year.
I don't know that.
This could be.
All I know is that they're going to try it out this year in minor league baseball.
Like single A? Does it say?
Man, you're asking a lot of freaking questions.
Well, because I love this game.
It'll be so hold on. It will be teams in the low A Southeast League, previously the Florida State League, will use ABS, the automated ball and strike system, in select games with hopes of determining the optimal strike zone for the system.
So you should be able to research that and go to a Port St. Lucie Mets game.
Sure.
Yeah.
They use it in the Arizona Fall League, and they use it in the Independent Atlantic League last year.
Okay.
Listen, man.
So this is the
evolution.
last year arguing with umps.
Yeah, is there a lot of arguing with umps?
Oh, anytime it happens, my heart just swells.
Really?
I love.
Well, maybe now they could argue with the umps by, like, giving it a virus. Because now it's just a computer.
Yeah.
You know? Each team will hire a hacker.
Overload.
Each team will hire a hacker.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
You'll be able to hack the
That's
system.
going to be the next scandal in baseball.
There's going to be a hacking situation. They're going to hack the strike zone.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
The Astros are going to hack the strike zone.
That's the next scandal in baseball.
The Houston Astros will hack the strike zone.
John Henry. He's good. Or Billy Bean.
Don't bring John Henry into this.
Billy Bean's going to do this.
The Red Sox would never do such a thing.
Oh, never. Never, never, never. Billy Bean's going to figure it out.
We only use our Apple Watches from time to time.
He's going to do that. He's going to move. He's going to demolish Fenway Park, get a new waterfront stadium.
I swear to God, I will throw you out of the studio right now. Demolish Fenway Park.
It's going to happen.
Get the hell out of here. Stop talking. Stop talking. Saturdays at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories from Major League Baseball. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., Seamheads now have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
You can send them a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
These are unprecedented times, challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Let's get back to the 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. You can send them a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Toast and Marsh.
$8:55 Friday morning, 4th and 20, Toast and Marsh. So what you going to do today? What's on your agenda?
Ooh, it's such a big day, and I'm so excited.
Why is it such a big day? What's happening?
My uncles are coming into town. My brother's coming into town.
Everyone's coming in from Utah?
Brother's coming in from Mississippi.
Okay.
Uncle coming in from Vegas.
What's the occasion?
Just to see me.
Oh, they miss the Marshy poo.
They miss us.
Oh, they miss
so
the Marshy.
I am so excited. My aunt's coming in.
So what's going to happen this weekend? You going to do anything special? Party? What? What's going on?
I don't know. Well,
are they all vaccinated?
I believe some of them are.
Okay.
Two of them are nurses.
Okay.
So maybe. It might be. But Lucky Louie just told me to not go out. So I don't know. So we may just drink at home.
Do some of that Blue Label.
Yeah, maybe that blue Bud Light. I think we're just gonna chill, man. It's supposed to be really nice weather, and so get the tan on, get the bronzer on, get the bronzer out.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, tomorrow night I think we're gonna maybe have a little fun. Maybe go to downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Fat Cats.
Maybe go to Sway.
Okay.
I know a promoter there, so it's easy there. It's easy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Whenever you don't have to pay for your drinks, it's always good.
We've got Selection Sunday.
That too.
And we'll have to get our brackets going for next week.
Oh, boy.
So now, are we going to start our brackets with the first four, or are we going to start traditionally with the Thursday games?
Sean?
I believe they actually now start with the
Tuesday games?
The Tuesday games I do not believe count because technically I believe those are like 65, 66, 67, 68, 69.
Right.
One of those teams will fill in the 64 bracket.
So right now your first four, this is according to Jerry Palm. This is updated as of this morning. Your first four are St. Louis. So you got your it's 4 12 seeds and 4 16 seeds. So your 4 12 seeds that'll be playing in the first four, St. Louis, Drake, UCLA, and Syracuse right now. The 16 seeds, Mount St. Mary's, St. Peter's, App State, and Coppin State.
Syracuse.
Syracuse is the interesting one there.
How do you say his last name?
Boeheim?
Boeheim.
Yeah, I can't
The
stand
nose
him.
picker.
Yeah, and he eats them too. He eats his boogers. He picks his nose and eats his boogers, and he's a 70-year-old man.
It's the most disgusting thing I've
vile
ever.
and disgusting.
Vile. I love that word.
Oh, so nasty. So nasty.
You nasty.
Wow, okay. My Huskies are up to a 6 seed. Florida State at a 4 seed.
Really?
Right now.
That's surprising.
Playing Liberty in the first game. Florida State in the East bracket where they'll be dealing with number 1 Illinois.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited for the tourney.
Yeah. They have a big game tonight against UNC.
Right now, your first four out are Boise State, Xavier, Utah State, and Ole Miss. Yep. Yeah. So if you go to this is Jerry Palm, CBS. If you go to ESPN Bracketology, they have Ole Miss and Utah State in.
Aggies all the way.
So, but I believe, with all due respect to Mr. Lenardi at ESPN, I believe Jerry Palm is the official. He's better at this than everybody.
Well, whoever has Utah State is my friend.
Well, that's not Jerry Palm.
Jerry, you're not.
He's got them as the first four out.
Hello, Jerry.
Boise, Xavier. Listen, that Xavier loss they had the other night in the Big East tournament was brutal to them. Brutal losing to DePaul. That was just brutal.
DePaul.
Brutal. Cost them a spot in the tourney, man.
Mm-hmm.
They needed one win to get in, and they didn't get it. And that is the greatness of March Madness.
DePaul's in Chicago.
I know, dude. Hey, talk about a sleeping giant.
Giant.
That program should be a huge program.
Good women's program.
With the inner city basketball that happens in Chicago, the level of talent that comes out of there, with the size of that university, with the endowment, with the alumni, there's no reason why DePaul should not be a consistent top 25 team. They have everything you need, but they can't get the head coach, and they just signed Dave Leto to another extension. Dude's finished in last place 5 years in a row.
Chicago.
I know.
Chicago.
That city would embrace a college basketball team that was
city
dominant.
in America.
It's It's a good, fun city. We'll be back after this. We've got David Ferrones coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Also be doing some fantasy football. All that coming up. I'm sorry, right, baseball. All that coming up next on 4th and 20.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong, deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnSideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready to care for you.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome back to 4th and 20.
Everyone gather round.
I should just start at the beginning.
What day of the week is it?
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
What are your plans for the weekend?
Doing absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Sounds exciting.
Okay, where was I? End of the week.
Friday, Friday, Friday.
Who's ready to party?
Okay, finally.
It's showtime.
Here's Toast and Marsh.
9:03 Friday morning. Fantasy baseball coming up next segment. In a few minutes, we'll be talking about the best and worst streaming services. But first, Myers Leonard. Punishment came down from the league. $50,000 fine. Suspended for a week, so he loses those game checks that would be associated with that. So I think each of his game checks is like $67,000 or something like that.
Wow.
I think I was reading something like that, so I think he misses a couple games there. A lot of folks were tweaked and thought that it was a bit of an easy punishment, a little bit lenient, only getting the $50,000 from the league and, the suspension. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm kind of just sick and tired of talking about it, honestly. I don't know what people were expecting. I've not I don't know what this situation calls for, and I'm not gonna come out here and say he should be released or anything like that. I know what he did was absolutely wrong and disgusting, but I don't know. Is that you think that's just standard? $50,000 1 week suspension?
I'm not sure what is. I know that what did Kobe get fined when he called use a gay slur on an official? He got a fine. That was 15 years ago or whatever.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Listen, when Ira came on with us, and Ira predicted what the punishment would be, he figured it would be a 1-game suspension and a nominal, the max fine available, which is $50,000.
Yeah,
like that's what he predicted before they came out with all this. So it seems like that's pretty much par for the course. I think maybe the bigger issue was $100,000 for Kobe for that. I think maybe the bigger issue is that the NBA may want to look at their guidelines a little more and maybe come out with a little bit more specific for if you utter a slur, then you are fined. You're out 5 games. You're fined $250,000, whatever it is. But come up with something set so that there's too much ambiguity in a lot of these, and that doesn't work for the public. Like, if you do something the same way that someone else did it, then the punishment should be pretty much equal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So come up with a better standard so that we know. Listen, if you're a white guy and you drop an N-bomb or some or an R word or whatever slur you want to use, that there's a set punishment for that.
Okay.
Because pretty much all those slur words are all awful.
Yes.
It's not like you should be penalized more for one and less for another. It's all just a blanket thing, a slur, boom.
Standard.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You're gone 5 games, $100,000, like whatever it is. I will say that I give, this is also a difficult situation because, and I don't want to go ahead and just say that Myers Leonard's a bad dude. That he's not a good person. That he doesn't have a good heart. He made an awful mistake. He had a bad utterance, and it was bad, and he's paying the price. He's absolutely paying the price. I would say that to this point, he's been very contrite. According to the Heat, he said everything right to them. He is working towards doing whatever he has to do to immerse himself in education, apparently to learn and make himself a better person. And if that's the case, I still don't think he's going to be back next year, just because I don't think he brings enough to the table for $10 million a year.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I don't think he's good enough to be brought back.
Right. I think if he was a better player, the door would be open right now for him to return next year. For me, though, he just isn't. He's a bench player, and for $10 million a year, that money can be better spent elsewhere.
That's the bigger thing.
He's a 30-year-old.
Like if he's apologized, and like you said, he said everything right, and that. Yes, he made a bad mistake. It was a word that he obviously shouldn't have said, but he's like, how else would you want him to respond?
And also, I trust Ira Winderman, and we didn't get into what Ira was told, but Ira was very clear to us that he has spoken to people within the Heat organization, and that as a result of those conversations, Ira is convinced that Myers was not aware of the full impact of that word.
Yes.
And the fact that so I'm gonna trust Ira on that, and I'm gonna trust that Myers, did not fully appreciate the magnitude of what that word entails, that he does now. But again, so I wouldn't have a problem with what he's done now with him coming back. I just don't think it's in the ballpark because I don't think he's a good enough player. With all due respect.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
I think he'll end up on another team.
I don't know.
I know the Jazz were possibly talking.
I think I could see his career moving forward being one that's based in Europe.
Okay.
Maybe China. Make some decent coins still. But, yeah.
Remember Christmas Day, he was raining threes.
Only played, 3 games for us this year, I think?
Yeah, not many.
So, listen, and loved Myers last year. He lost a spot in the rotation during the playoffs once we hit the bubble. But, yeah, listen, he did rub some folks the wrong way last year. Remember, he was the only member of the Heat that would stand when everyone else knelt for the national anthem.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal to me, honestly. No. I mean, just because you stand for the national anthem doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just because, and if you kneel for the national anthem doesn't mean you're a bad person. And I hate that people were taking that.
Oh, everything's politicized. Everything's politicized nowadays.
And I hate that after he said that, that people would pull up pictures of that and say it as a bad thing. That really pissed me off. But no, he said something bad. But he apologized, and he's doing everything he can to learn more. And that, what else? He can come back as a good person.
Here's another example. Remember that in the last year, NASCAR had to suspend one of its young up-and-coming drivers, Kyle Larson, because he uttered an N-word during an online esports event. He thought it was, no excuse for it, but he said it. He was banished Well, to his credit, he did 6 months, and he, did education, and he met with people, and he learned things, and he was educated on the situation, and he evolved as a person.
Yeah.
NASCAR let him back in. He won last weekend. He got, and now his career is back.
Yeah.
He messed up. He apologized. He did it the right way. And now he gets a second chance.
Exactly.
Because everyone should get a second chance.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you let someone evolve? Like, why wouldn't you give them that chance? Like, why? If they're really trying to better their image after that mistake, why not let them evolve?
Because we are such a judgy society.
Oh, I hate it.
We love casting judgment on everybody
and
that
holding
isn't
that
us.
judgment forever.
Oh my God, it is insane.
I hate it.
You must assume that all of us are just the most perfect individuals with the amount of judgment that we will cast on strangers, on friends, on everybody.
And if you do anything wrong, like in the slightest of things, then you are a bad person forever and ever.
Yeah, your whole life is ruined.
Exactly.
No more jobs for you. No more working.
I hate that.
I can't stand it either.
The past week, and I'm not saying that obviously we all know that what he said was awful. Like nobody should ever say that word, and even if you didn't understand what that word meant, you still don't say it. But just the fact that everyone is now just going so hard at him and pulling up the pictures of the national anthem, it pissed me off, man. And those are my thoughts.
Nice. All right, let's get into something a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Best and worst streaming services.
Yes.
I got opinions on this.
Okay, so on Wednesday, because I'm a big fan of The Office, and but it's taken off Netflix.
Yes.
And this past weekend, I missed it, so I was just searching up YouTube clips. There's only so many YouTube clips you can watch without wanting to watch just the show. And so, yes, on Wednesday, it's on Peacock. Peacock.
Yep. That's the NBC streaming app.
Yes, and so I started a free week. And I love it, and I know what your thoughts on Peacock are, but I have watched so much Office in the past 2 days. I've loved it.
Are you gonna pay for it?
I think I might, because I'm not on Netflix anymore.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm not on Netflix
Why?
anymore. I just don't. There's nothing really for me there.
I'm sorry. There's nothing for you
on Netflix,
on the planet's biggest streaming service.
I'm sorry, the movies aren't that great.
Well, there's not really a lot of movies on Netflix. There's more shows and TV.
Yeah,
and
all
stuff
the
that.
shows
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I'll go. Okay. Here's the thing. My family is still on Netflix. I just forgot the login.
Oh! So he lied to us, Sean. So he's not
watching Netflix anymore.
He's not dropping Netflix on principle because they don't have
the login.
Because he is too lazy to ask for the login that he has stolen from other members of his family.
We all share the same one.
Not for long, bro. I'm glad you brought that up because let me scroll down my little page here because I got a story for you about Netflix and you people that steal each other's passwords.
Wait, I'm not stealing.
Oh, they are. Yeah, you're stealing.
I'm not a stealer.
Not a stealer. You're a stealer. You're a
stealer.
Thief.
Thief.
All right, here we go. Where is it? All right. Netflix might be making shared accounts a thing of the past.
No!
The company seems to be monitoring who is using which accounts a bit more closely now, and users are starting to get messages that prompt them to start their own Netflix account if they don't live with the owner of the account they're using.
Okay.
Upon login, some Netflix viewers are now seeing the following message before they start their binge choice. Quote, if you don't live with the owner of this account, you need your own account to keep watching. If they aren't able to verify the account, they're prompted to create a new one with a 30-day free trial.
Oh, that's great. I love the free trials.
Listen, they are, $14.99 a month or whatever it is. If like 10% or 20% of the people are sharing someone else's password, like that is significant for the amount of people they have watching. That's hundreds of millions of dollars a month.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't need Netflix because
Really?
It's been a long time since I've watched anything on Netflix.
But it's the standard bearer. It's the bar of which all streaming services are judged.
Yeah, but I don't
in
like.
Disney
There's
Plus
but all
now.
my shows on there got taken off, and so.
So are you a Disney? So where are you going? So what are your top 3 right now? Your top 3 streaming services.
I don't even use 3. I use Amazon. I use not
Prime. Prime's gotten Prime is weak for me.
I use Prime. Well, because it has HBO shows.
Oh, you don't have HBO Max?
We have HBO Max, but it's on Prime, so I guess like it's the same thing, kind of. And I like they have good movies, and
I like Netflix.
Yeah,
I love Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus because of Star Wars.
I will tell you this: the new one that launched last week, so CBS All Access went turned into Paramount.
Yeah, saw
And
the Super Bowl ad.
Well, so what? So what I didn't realize, dude, the shows on that, dude, this thing's gonna rival Disney Plus and possibly.
Well, what are the shows that are
so
going to
here's
be
the
on?
thing. Here's what I didn't realize. So back in the day, when they were producing TV shows, there was the Paramount Television Network that was producing like major TV shows like Cheers and whatever. They were on NBC.
Yeah.
But now Paramount owns the rights to them. So they're all in movies. All the Godfathers are on Paramount now for free.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like
Do
the
they have a free
Paramount
week?
movie. The Paramount movie. Oh, I think they
Has
have,
it launched?
Yes, it launched last week.
Ow.
Ow. What the
Wait.
hell was
Oh my
ow?
God. Oh my God. Peacock is NBC.
Yeah.
Does it have Seinfeld?
No. Seinfeld.
That's on
wait,
Hulu.
Is Seinfeld on Hulu?
I believe so.
Where is Seinfeld? Really, you had to go English there? Seinfeld.
Well, and like Peacock has Modern Family. It even has King of Queens, Toast.
King of Queens.
What, you don't like King?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu, yeah. So I'd say Peacock, Hulu, maybe Disney Plus, just because of Star Wars.
Well, because you don't watch the Marvel stuff because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
That's where all the Disney Plus is where all the Marvel stuff lives.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I'm not
HBO Max is where all the DC stuff lives.
I don't like idiot. I don't like that word. Yeah, it's in the tier.
Stop. Well, if you're going to act like one, then I'm going to call you
I'm not an
one.
idiot just because I don't watch the Marvels.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're
does kinda put you in
You're
the
the
range.
only 26-year-old male that has never seen an MCU movie.
Liar.
Really?
I know
Find me
several.
another 26-year-old male that has never seen a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
My friends.
Of course, your friends.
Yeah. And then maybe this maybe Paramount one.
Yeah, the Paramount one is strong.
Well, so it has The Godfathers, which are some of my
It's
favorite
got some great movies.
What are the shows?
I don't remember them off the top of my head. I'm not being paid by them. But it's what CBS All Access should be. So all the Star Treks are there.
Oh.
Smithsonian Channel is there. Comedy Central is there.
Smithsonian Channel?
MTV is there. Yeah. Paramount owns all that stuff.
I do love the Smithsonian
So if you want to watch old Real World episodes on MTV, that's there. I believe you can also watch Remote Control from back in the day. So like back in the 80s. That was one of the first shows. That was one of the first non-music video shows that MTV had.
Okay.
Hosted by Colin Quinn.
Wow, I'm looking. There's a lot of things on here.
No, tons of stuff on there. There's a lot of
Nutty
good movies.
Professor.
Well, and that's the one you go to, the Nutty Professor.
Well, that was the first one the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
Top Gun.
There you go. Top Gun. You're in. Who we got coming up next, Sean?
Todd Zola.
Todd Zola. Talk a little fantasy baseball because we got a draft coming up at some point in the near future. All that next on OnSideRadio.com.
You can send them a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
If you missed Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, then you missed this.
Beckham and Moss made it seem like it was the most important thing in the world that they had to talk about the academy and bringing up players from the academy to play for Inter Miami. And, well, they've not only done it, they've now done it in abundance. First, it was Felipe Valencia. And in a question asked about Felipe Valencia, David Beckham specifically mentioned another name in Ian Frey. This was, now in hindsight, a complete foreshadowing of what was to come this week, because Ian Frey has now signed as a first-team player for Inter Miami. Ian Frey also signed alongside his former teammate from Fort Lauderdale CF, Edison Ascona.
Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard every Saturday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
Welcome back to 4th and 20. To reach out to Toast and Marsh, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to the 4th and 20.
922, OnSideRadio.com. This is 4th and 20. I'm Toast. He is Marsh. Beautiful Friday morning in South Florida. We're going to go right now onto the phone up to my old stomping grounds, New England, where Todd Zola, you can get him at Todd Zola on Twitter, the owner of mastersball.com. And Todd's come on. We're going to talk a little fantasy baseball. Good morning, Todd. How are you?
Hi, Todd.
Hey, gentlemen. Man, jealous of your weather, that's for sure.
Yeah, listen, man, I've been talking to my parents the last couple weeks up there in Connecticut, man. They keep sending me pictures of their back deck with like 4 feet of snow on it, and I just laugh.
It's going away. It's been 60 this week. Been able to open the door.
There you go. Good stuff, man. So let me ask you this, Bub. We're going to be doing fantasy baseball down here on our show with a bunch of listeners. I have not done fantasy baseball. I took last year off because I didn't understand what the point was in a 60-game season. So we get into it this year. Todd, is Mike Trout still the clear number 1 player in baseball?
No, it's especially. This is a very strange year, and you could have named any of 5 names, including Trout, and it usually is Mike Trout, and that's it. But Ronald Acuna, Mookie Betts, Fernando Tatis, and even Juan Soto. You can make a point for Jacob deGrom. So Trout has company.
Okay. So you mentioned Jacob deGrom. I wanted to ask you about pitchers. Would you put deGrom 1 and Garrett Cole number 2 in terms of pitchers?
I would. It depends on the scoring, but I would, especially if the National League continues to not have the universal DH. deGrom is the clear number 1.
All right, so obviously when you look at a lot of folks will break everything down into tiers. I think we pretty much know who those tier 1 starting pitchers are. The key for me when it comes to fantasy baseball is trying to find that number 3 or 4 starter for a good team that's going to get me 12, 13 wins and have a good season. Can you give me a couple names that you think fit that criteria?
So the third and fourth starters. So we're looking for someone. I guess it's a little bit further down the line. Well, you know what? If you're your own team there in Miami, you can name anybody from that staff. That is one exciting staff with Eliezer Hernandez and Sixto Sanchez needs to strike out more batters, but Pablo Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're those players are going to go. Usually teams on home teams go a little faster than they should, but that's a staff that's worthy of what you're asking.
Okay, I have a question about Bryce Harper. I'm very torn on him. I have been torn on him like his whole career, and especially when thinking about fantasy baseball. He used to be kind of an injury risk. Do you think he is still a first round selection when it comes to fantasy baseball?
First round, probably not, but because of the injury risk, if it's a league if you're doing a points league where walks matter, then he jumps up the rankings a bit. Some players are injury prone until they're not, and he's had 3 straight. He's missed 1, 3. He's missed 10 games over the past 3 seasons. So if you want to take a chance, you might think he's over that hump, and he's now an everyday player. So he's borderline. If the scoring system has walks in it, yeah, he's a first rounder.
Let's talk about some other players that are due for hopefully a bounce back season. Maybe you can get some value on. One that I'm looking at is J.D. Martinez. Obviously, last year was just miserable for him. Despite that, the Red Sox still had a pretty decent offense when you look at the numbers. Do you think he bounces back to what we're accustomed to seeing, or is he on the downside of his career now?
Yeah, J.D. Martinez is interesting because either he's really good like he used to be, or he's terrible, but everybody drafts him in the middle. I mean, he's not. Everybody averages it out. I think he's going to bounce back. There's some narrative about needing the video in game, and players are going to be able to look at their little rectangles in the dugout with the fingers all blurred out, the pitcher's signals all blurred out. So even if it's just psychological, I think he bounces back. But you're right. The offense was okay, but, man, the Red Sox pitching is terrible. There was no name. Well, I could give you Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, and then, but other than that, it's pretty terrible.
Okay, we're switch to Yankees. You asked about JD.
Mm-hmm.
My big question, big Yankee guy, Giancarlo Stanton. I've been waiting for him just to play more than half the season since he signed with the Yankees. Is he a big risk when it comes to fantasy baseball? And what would you put the over-under on games that he plays this season?
Yeah, you see, he we mentioned that sometimes people get healthy again and they're over the hump. Well, he had 2 seasons in a row where he missed a total of 7 games. So, okay, fine, Giancarlo's back. Then, of course, the last 2 seasons he's barely played. So he's definitely a risk. The over-under, I guess I'm putting it around 120. But I have no math. I have no reason to put it other than, he could get injured on the opening day. He could get injured the second to last day of the year. So let's give him around 120, and he is a big risk. But the thing about it is when he's out, and then you can put someone back in the lineup when he's out. So people don't often remember that. So you still have a lineup spot. So you jump him up a little bit. He's going to play 120. Somebody else is going to play those other 40 on your lineup, so you're able to, at least get someone in there and draft them on maybe a little bit higher than the rankings.
We're talking to Todd Zola. He is the owner of mastersball.com. And I'm looking at the website now, Todd. And so you have subscriptions here where you will, give folks inside info, drafting strategies. What are some of the things you're offering on the website?
Right. So we do projections. And I've got some player profiles, and I've got some drafting tools. To be honest, it's more of a prep site to help you with your draft. I don't do as much in season as some other sites might. I'm my own staff. I'm a freelancer, so I do the preseason stuff. And the other thing you get is you get me. You can get to answer me questions on our. I know it's old school. I'm a Luddite. It's on the forum, but I answer any question you want. So you get my projections and you get me.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Is there one specific sleeper that you're targeting in your drafts this year? Doesn't matter whether it's a position player or a pitcher, but who's your number one sleeper?
This is kind of deep at this point, and I like Jared Olivo of Pittsburgh, the rookie, to eventually beat out Brian Goodwin. And stolen bases, depending upon your scoring system, are rare. They're important. And I just see him as a player that's going to hit a few homers so he doesn't crush you there and break camp and get some steals. So I look at sometimes we overlook the lesser teams like Pittsburgh, but they still have some good players.
I want to go back to the pitchers here. We obviously mentioned DeGrom and Cole. Who are some of the other guys that you would have maybe in your top 5 pitchers? You obviously have Trevor Bauer, Yu Darvish. Are there any other pitchers that you would suggest, drafting high in your fantasy baseball draft?
Well, you mentioned 2 of my next 3, and then Shane Bieber being the third. And literally, I need a 3-headed coin to flip because I just don't know which. I'd probably break the tie with Bauer because what if he opens both eyes this time? And becomes that clip all over Twitter, hitting a batter with one eye. Then you got Lucas Giolito, Aaron Nola. You got Max Scherzer. If you like rolling dice, and again a little bit of an injury risk, but you're kind of a riverboat gambler, Scherzer could be the best pitcher in baseball again. The skills are still there, getting a little old. I mentioned Lucas Giolito. Then you get down to the Brandon Woodruff, players of that ilk.
You mentioned Eduardo Rodriguez from the Red Sox. I'm a diehard Sox fan. Do you think he can make the move to be a top-flight ace?
I don't know about top-flight ace. Sure he can. I don't know. I don't know that I bet on it. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, when every other manager was taking their pitcher out as soon as they put a runner on base, Alex Cora was, tough love, as they say, and making Rodriguez go those 6 innings, and I love that in today's game. Coming back from the well, not injury, but the illness and the heart issue, I can't believe Cora's going to back off, but I think at some point he's going to go back to the old ways, and you're going 6, you're going to get through this, and I like that. That's one of the characteristics of an ace, right? To pitch out of your own trouble. But I think at the beginning, listen, the guy was in trouble last year. Let's go easy. But I'm curious to see what happens there. But he can be a staff ace. I don't know if he's got the strikeouts, and he's got the strikeouts, but he allows a few too many base runners to be a fantasy ace. He could be a staff ace, a Red Sox ace for sure.
Todd Zola, everybody. Check out his website, mastersball.com, for all of your pre-draft strategy needs. Todd, thank you very much. You can also follow him at Todd Zola on Twitter. We appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, Todd.
Good luck in your leagues, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So we'll have to check that out, and got some different...
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of his... He's got the draft tracker, and he's got some sleepers. And
the guys that do these, they're so smart when it comes to analytics and everything.
And it's also with baseball because there's so many players.
Yeah.
It's not the NBA where it's you've got thousands of players. It's insane how many you got. You got a 40-man roster for 30-some-odd teams.
It's crazy, and play is coming and going.
Yeah, coming and going.
Coming and
I don't
going.
know why you talk like that.
I'm a big voice guy.
We got David Furones coming up next. Talk a little Canes. Furones.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. From the Sun Sentinel. So we'll talk a little Canes baseball. We'll talk some spring ball. Maybe get his take on what he thinks the future of Coach L is with the basketball program. All of that coming up next on OnSideRadio.com.
You can send them a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Good morning, Miami. I'm Marsh with your Onside Sports Morning Update. The Heat defeated the Magic last night, 111-103, behind 27 points from Jimmy Butler. Miami is now above 500 for the first time this year. The Heat are back in action tonight against the Bulls in Chicago. Tip-off is at 9 o'clock. The Panthers won in Columbus last night, 5-4 in overtime after being down 4-1 in the third. Frank Vetrano scoring the winning goal in overtime. This is South Florida's new choice for local sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Welcome back to 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. To reach out to the boys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Toast and Marsh.
9:36, 4th and 20, Toast and Marsh. Friday morning. Oh, yeah. And it's a beautiful looking one out there as well. I'm going to bring David Ferrones on right now. David, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
Hey, fellas. What's up? How you doing this morning?
We're doing pretty good, man. Before we get into spring ball, wanted to wrap up Canes basketball real quick. Yeah. They went on a nice little, short little run here, played the part of Cinderella for a day or two. My question is in regards to Coach L. What is your feeling? Do you think that he comes back, or is he going to call it a, go to the Villages and retire, or what's your thought?
Yeah, we all wondered a little bit about that going toward the final stretch of the season when things were really getting tough. They were losing 6 in a row, 10 of 11, and had dealing with 5 guys out and 6 scholarship players, a 7-man rotation. But I mean, the guy has a passion for coaching basketball. So I mean, if I had any inclination, I would think he does want to keep coaching. He'll do it as long as he can. And I think he probably also looked at the season as there was a real big opportunity with how many seniors were on the team, all who have options to come back too. And then just the way it went down. If anyone would have thought the season would have gone some other way, it would have been maybe because of COVID issues, and they really had none of that. It was all just plain old injury issues. So I don't know. We'll see if some guys decide to come back, and then it could be better for him next season.
Okay, so, Dave, looking at the Canes, we know that Manny Diaz is looking to bring on a few more players from the transfer portal for this upcoming season. Who are some of those guys that the Canes should be looking at, and who are some of the names to know within the portal right now?
Yeah, it was nice to get that one basketball question in before we dive right into it. Yeah, but I mean, obviously there's that UNLV lineman, Justice, and all these guys have difficult names to pronounce. So
yes,
I prefer to just be able to write them and not have to say them on the radio. But Justice Uluwasun, I believe, the UNLV tackle, obviously. He has a relationship with Garen Justice as well. So, I mean, he tweeted out that he got that offer. So if they get reunited, probably had a really good relationship with him from his day when he was O-line coach and also offensive coordinator. And then there's that USC linebacker. He comes to mind as well. You guys can help me out with that name.
There's not a chance I can pronounce his name.
Hell, but we know exactly who you're talking about. David, let me ask you this. Because with both those players, if I'm reading this correctly, if we were to take, because we've already hit our allotment, so if we were to take those two players this year, that would come out of our 2022 recruiting numbers, correct? We would lose 2 spots next year.
Right. Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you a question. How do you feel about us bringing in 2 players that are now going to count against next year's class and bring that number down from like 25 to 23 or whatever it is?
Right. Or even if it's like a 20, and it's already looking like it's going to be a small class anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, right now there's only 1 commitment, and then also Caden Martin, who is on for baseball, dual sport athlete, and is a 4-star quarterback recruit as well. So with the recent decommitment of Jamal Johnson, now you're down to 1 commitment in this class. That's Brandon Cleveland, the defensive tackle out of Tampa. So, it's a tough class to pull together because COVID has really set coaches behind in the evaluation of this class. Last year's class, the Canes could really rally because kind of with the pandemic helping them out, because a lot of guys had to stay home and value and couldn't get out to visits late in their recruiting process. So they said, hey, we're going to put on for the hometown team and play for the Hurricanes. So it's a little bit more difficult. Coaches falling behind in the whole evaluation and early relationship building process. So, hey, if that's the route that Manny wants to go, then I could see why.
Okay, so sticking with the 2022 recruiting class, you wrote an article, I believe it was yesterday, on Dante Anderson, Daniel Lyons from Homestead. Dante Anderson is one of my favorite players in this class. I think he's just a freak. Do you think that they are going to be a package deal, and where do you think Miami stands in their recruitment, and how high do you think Miami is on their lists?
Yeah, boy, it's tough to get a read with these guys. Both of them were just saying, hey, they're completely open. They're not close to narrowing things down at all, and they want to take visits before they do any of that. So, and that can't happen until June. But you got to imagine these 2 guys, coming out of Homestead. Daniel Lyons told me that he had only been on a plane to go elsewhere in the country once in his life, and that was previously when he was at Southridge, and they played St. John's in D.C. So there could be a package deal. Dante Anderson says he wants to play together with Daniel Lyons, and Lyons feels that could be the case himself. So I feel like Miami would have an advantage, especially a couple of guys that are from down here. So we'll see how it plays out.
David, Canes made the top 5 for American Heritage cornerback Jacoby Spells. I'm curious because we learned last week that Miami had lost contact with his teammate on the other side, Legacy Earl Little Jr. So how does Miami keep in contact with Jacoby but lost contact with Earl? How does that happen when they're in the same friggin' locker room?
It's really perplexing, and Earl Little, of course, someone that I'm sure the Canes fans want to get their hands on, not only because of the legacy aspect, but the player he is as well. Haven't seen him play, but and Jacoby Spells, I could even get more specific. He said he told myself and Manny Navarro from The Athletic, we were interviewing him together, and he said he's got Canes 2 on his list. He wouldn't go anything further, so I think he kind of revealed that, and then we were poking to try to get more information about 1, 3, 4, and 5, and that's where he stopped giving us any more specifics. But Spells himself, he looks like a solid player. I mean, a physical corner, strong at his position, a guy that has the athleticism. He played receiver earlier in his high school career, and then transitioned over. So that would be a nice get. But I know the Canes would like to get both of those American Heritage corners.
Okay, so spring practice opens on Monday. Finally, we have some football. I want to know who are a breakout player on offense and defense that you are looking forward to watch in the spring, and then later on towards the season.
I'll start on defense. I mean, I think a lot of people would really like to see Corey Flagg have a breakout season and establish himself as a middle linebacker, a strong middle linebacker on an ACC team that can lead this team. I mean, last year, the Hurricanes, if you look at their tackle stats, you don't find a linebacker until you get to number 7. So that's really something wild. When you look at all 3 safeties were in on more tackles than any linebacker.
Oh,
Two defensive ends.
That is so bad.
You got to be kidding me. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I would like to see Corey Fry take that next step in his game after coming in as a freshman last year. And then someone from the receiving core on offense. If it's Keyshawn Smith, that would be phenomenal with his down-the-field threat abilities. So if he's able to take that step and then, get into that starting wide receiver group, then, with a Mike Harley, with a Charleston Rambo, that would be great for this Miami offense.
All right, David, I am most intrigued going into spring ball because it's going to be about the future of the program as to what's going to happen with the quarterback 2 competition. And I love the fact that we got TVD, we got Peyton Mataka in there, we got Garcia that just came in as the freshman. How do you see that competition shaking out? And do you see anyone, is TVD the clear away favorite to win that job right now or not?
Yeah, it's too early to tell because Jake Garcia hasn't even taken his first spring reps. So, but this is the one thing that it's really a bummer that due to COVID and everything, media, we can't even get out to watch the practices either. It'll just all be Zoom press conferences, and we'll be trying to figure out what Rhett Lashley is evaluating as the spring goes on and as he watches these 3 guys. But I would say Tyler Van Dyke has to have the leg up right now. He got into that mix where he was in contention to be that number 2 QB last year with N'Kosi Perry, as De'Aaron King was obviously the starter. And so now with King recovering from that ACL, then you'll see all these guys kind of get their reps. And right now TVD would certainly be the top guy of the group that's available. And then we'll see what Jake Garcia can make of the spring and how much he can develop over this time. And then you also have Peyton Mataka as well. That'll get some reps and see how he develops.
Okay, so one of the biggest question marks for the Canes this year is how they are going to replace Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche on the edge. You move Zach McLeod over from linebacker to defensive end. You bring in DeAndre Johnson. But I think most people,
Jafari Harvey.
Yeah, exactly. I think most people are excited to watch Jafari Harvey this year. Would you say that he is the favorite to be one of the starting defensive ends?
Yeah, I would say so. I would think in my mind you envision a line where DeAndre Johnson comes in on one side, Harvey is on the other side. We'll see if that's true and that plays out through the spring and then into fall camp. When Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche opted out of the bowl game, then you saw Jafari Harvey and Cameron Williams play a lot at start. Then Zach McLeod was coming in off the bench, and then Patrick Joyner, who's no longer with the team, was the other rotational defensive end. So I would think Jafari Harvey of the returning guys has the leg up, and then DeAndre Johnson's coming in. You want to insert him right away. You have a Cameron Williams who can create some depth, a Chance Williams who was the big 4-star defensive end recruit from the previous recruiting class. We want to see him take another step as well to be one of those rotational guys.
David, so looking at the defensive side of the ball, for me, the 2 weakest position situations we're dealing with right now is linebacker and cornerback. And wouldn't you know it, both those positions are welcoming in first-time position coaches to spring ball. Ishmael and DVD. How do you feel those 2 guys are going to do, not as recruiters, but as coaches, because that's the hat they have to wear right now for the next few weeks?
Yeah, and it's interesting with Ishmael. It seems like he'll be focusing really on strikers. So it's interesting he has the outside linebackers coach title, but he'll really be a strikers coach, it appears. When we asked him about linebackers at first, he said that would be more Jonathan Packey.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a new thing for him. He really focused on DBs a lot in his previous role where he had a big deal in recruiting Miami for Texas A&M. So he would assist mostly with DBs when he was on the support staff there with the Aggies. So that'll be a transition for him. but at least it is in a striker role, which is kind of like a safety linebacker hybrid. And then DVD, of course, obviously a guy who is familiar with this program, familiar with the cornerbacks in this program, and then even Tyreek Stevenson having played a role in the recruitment of him going back to when he was at Southridge and then first chose Georgia over Miami. So, yeah, I mean, it's a position that he played. He was an NFL draft pick, third-round pick, and played for the Miami Hurricanes. So now he's just got to put what he knows, his knowledge, into is sending it off to these youngsters on the team.
Okay, so Blake Baker is gone as defensive coordinator. Oh, my God, you almost gave me a heart attack. And Manny Diaz is back, assuming that role, which is interesting because he's also the head coach. How much of a difference do you think we will see in the defense with Manny back calling the plays and, leading that group?
Yeah, that'll be the million-dollar question to see how this move plays out. Obviously, if we see a big defensive improvement, then Manny's the hero for pulling that move off and then handling both duties too. To be a head coach, oversee the whole program, and then kind of play that defensive coordinator role where he's not handing things off like those defensive play calls, but. He always had some or a lot of a role in what the defense how it was being called. Obviously, his back to his year as defensive coordinator. So to determine is, and I think Manny Diaz had kind of the energy as this young coach to go ahead and handle those two rules the way he's going to be, and he has a lot of support as well from. Assistant coaches on the staff that know what they're doing. Obviously, you bring in a guy like Bob who has defensive coordinator experience, and that's huge. And then on the support staff, you still have Todd Stroud on the support staff, and then also Bob Shroop coming in, who's a longtime defensive coordinator. So a lot of support that Manny Diaz has on that side too.
David, great stuff, man. Thank you very much for giving us some time, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
Absolutely. You too.
David Furones, Sun Sentinel, covers the Miami Hurricanes, all things Miami Hurricanes. And, yeah, man, spring ball on. Do we know why it was delayed 2 days? Because initially it was the 13th.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we know what happened that caused that to get pushed back to Monday?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
I can't wait.
Weekend fun in South Florida.
Yeah, it could be that. Absolutely. You know what? It's
Manny
better off
wanted to ride on
Yeah,
yachts.
it's better off to start it off on a Monday than a Friday. We will be back with Kai after this, OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Sundays at 9 a.m., Juan Cardona dominates the airwaves with Juan on Juan. From sneakers to video games to your favorite South Florida team. Tune in every Sunday to Juan on Juan, exclusively on your home for sports talk in South Florida, OnSideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
A message to help keep you safe. If doctors told us today that we'd made a breakthrough on COVID-19, saving thousands of lives, we would rejoice. Finally, a good news day. We'd feel less afraid that our loved ones would be struck by the invisible enemy. We'd start to feel hope that we could live our lives again. Well, a mask does all that. We can help protect others by covering our noses and mouths, which is how the virus mainly spreads. Masks are a ticket to freedom, to be out in the world, to getting together, back to work, back to doing what we want. If doctors announced we could save lives today, we would grab that breakthrough with both hands. While we wait for a vaccine, grab the breakthrough that's already here. When we're out, it's masks on.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. To reach out to the boys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Toast and Marsh.
It's 9:56 on a Friday. Marsh is here. I'm here. Kai just walks in and he asks me a question. Is water wet? And now all I want to do is just have Kai hop on Call of Duty today so I can shoot his ass. Shoot him. Is water wet?
Kai in the
Yeah,
corner.
It's a legit
Pretty sure it's wet.
There are people that don't think it's wet.
What do they
They're
think? It's
actually-
dry?
They think that water itself, like that water makes things wet, but water itself can't be wet.
Why?
There are people that legitimately
But
think
water
that.
is wet.
What is
Exactly.
this? Was this Kyrie Irving thinking the world is flat sort
No,
of
like
people?
there are actual
yeah, it's
people
probably
that's
Kyrie.
legitimately
Wow.
like, but water is
Stop
wet.
talking to those people.
Yeah.
Remove them
Can't,
from your life.
unfortunately. Too close friends.
Oh,
Too close.
Jesus. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, then.
Anywho.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
So is that you going to put more water in your Blue Label tonight?
I don't know if I'm drinking Blue Label tonight.
Oh.
Bud
He
Light.
took the bottle with him.
Well, it's at his house.
Oh,
Bud Light? What?
It's quite a step down. Blue Label to Bud Light.
Yeah, but it's not a sad step down. I'm still happy. Look how
Okay.
happy I am.
Yes, he's thrilled.
My brother's coming in to do it.
I know.
I'm so excited.
You were going to party your ass off this weekend.
Not really.
So will you get like just drunk?
No.
No. Really?
No, I just want some family time.
You won't get
While
like
drunk.
You won't get drunk though.
I'll have a few drinks. I don't like getting like really drunk though.
Where you'll like jump into the pool.
That only happens.
Now let me
on
ask a
rare
question.
occasions.
When you and your brothers get together and start drinking,
My younger brother doesn't drink.
All right. Well, how many brothers do you have?
2.
All right, and one of them does drink.
Yes.
So the one that does drink,
Yes.
will you two start once you're drinking, start going around the house and slapping each other in the balls, so they crumble, so the other one crumbles to the ground?
No.
Well, that's what we do when we drink. Me and my buddies. Just walk by and just. So they crumble to the ground.
We're very generous. We start drinking with strangers at the bar.
You don't just hit your buddies in the balls?
No.
No?
No.
It's fun. They crumble to the ground.
This
and
guy
like,
doesn't know how to live.
No. My brother goes like, hey, let's go talk to that girl. Let's go talk to this girl.
No, I should hit him in the balls first.
Oh, no.
Then he'll crumble
As
to the
he's
ground.
talking
Yes,
to her.
Then he'll crumble to the ground in front of the girls.
No.
And then you look like you're the man. Puts you in a good light.
Yeah, but then we're both the man.
What?
I love this, man.
Sometimes
every
he
day
confuses me.
every day is so awesome.
Yeah, we're good at
Listen,
the bars, bro.
Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Don't forget, you got to change the freaking clock. So we're all going to be tired-ass MFers on Monday. Yes, I hate this. I hate the clock. It
Are we going
sucks.
back forward, right?
We're back.
We're
No,
jumping-
we're
we're
forward.
jumping-
We're forward. We lose an hour.
We're jumping forward into
Skipping
spring.
forward. You skip into spring. You fall into fall.
Mickey Mouse.
I hate this.
It's the worst.
Do,
It's
do, do, do,
the
do, do,
worst.
do.
We're out of here. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Hey, is that a faucet running?
Nope, that's not a